the middle of a long day of baseball at Shea Stadium. Fans got here very early today for the first part of your old-fashioned single admission long day of baseball. Lots of snacking type doubleheader. Between games, plenty of time to shop for souvenirs and hope that the Mets can get themselves a win after dropping the first two games of this series. At Shea Stadium in New York, the New York Mets play the Florida Marlins in Game 2 of today's doubleheader, also available in HD. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Shea Stadium. Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez with you. The Marlins won the opening game of the doubleheader today, 3-2, kind of a contentious game. Teams trading some hit batsmen. Carlos Delgado going out with a bruised hand, and later on in the game, Juaner Sanchez nailing Miguel Cabrera. The bench is empty. Cabrera eventually got ejected from the game, and so it's into that atmosphere that Mike Pelfrey makes his Major League debut.
Well, there he is right there. You look at him coming in from the bullpen. It's his first start, of course, his first Major League start, but I think this will be all forgotten. It's a brand new ball game, but there are some tempers for Game 2.
But you wonder, here's a kid making his big league debut, and the decision was made to pitch him in Game 2 of the doubleheader, which was probably a good move, but he's sitting in the clubhouse watching the last part of this game on TV, sees the bench is empty, and is he wondering to himself, well, what's my role in this now?
His role is to go out there and throw as long as he can, preferably 9 innings, and bring a win home and salvage a split in this doubleheader.
Meanwhile, the Mets offense disappeared in that first game. They drew 6 walks and had a couple of hit batsmen, but only 3 singles in the game. In fact, their only 2 runs were a couple of unearned runs on an error and 4 walks in the 5th inning. And the Mets, with Reyes now out and Delgado out, they've got to find some offense in the second game.
Well, it's always amazing how, you always wonder why doubleheaders are always so hard to sweep. And I don't have an answer for that, but maybe the other team realizes, hey, the other team maybe gets a little soft, but I wouldn't take that for granted with this young Marlins team. This is a hungry team that's got to be feeling good about themselves coming into Shea Stadium and taking the first 2 games in this 4-game set.
No question about it, and tough too. Remember, if you were watching the first game this afternoon, a collision in shallow left field. Josh Willingham, the left fielder, stuck his elbow right in the temple of the shortstop Hanley Ramirez, and he was down on the ground for a long time, but stayed in that game. He had the game-winning home run in the game as well, and he's playing in Game 2 as well.
Well, they're young kids, go get them. You don't want out of lineup when you're young. I tell you that even when you get older, but when you got a chance to play every day, and when a young team like this, where a lot of kids have got an opportunity to make it in the big leagues and start every day, wild horses couldn't drag you out of lineup.
Well, with the win, the Marlins have pulled within 11 and a half games of the first place Mets. They'll try and slice another lead off it. Speaking of slices, getting a little hungry myself. Back with the first pitch in a moment.